So I was looking at some of the comments from yesterday's video about the chamber strings, and one of the guys that comments on my channel and is like a really cool supporter. His name's Joel Rizzo. He mentioned the band Giant Sand in one of the comments because we're just kind of talking about like record store rock, like sorts of bands that you have to just kind of be like working at a record store, really getting into like obscure um, magazines and British magazines and stuff like Mojo and Uncut and Q to be into. And Joel mentioned Giant Sand, so I was thinking. I told him I was like, dude, I should do like a quick video on Giant Sand because I had a thing with Giant Sand where I've had phases. Well, with lots of bands, you go through certain phases where you're like, you're really into it. You're listening to it a lot. Maybe you're even ordering like directly from them, which I did order some stuff directly from Hal Gelb's label. And then you kind of like don't listen to them sometimes. But like Giant Sand is like a seasonal band for me because I usually in like late spring, early summer, I'll go out to Mojave with my cousin Brian, and we go out to Mojave basically to kind of just do some assessment work on some property that my mom's side of the family had out there, their mines. But I like the desert a lot, and the I like when I go out to the desert, I like to listen to music that's really kind of evokes. I like to have my soundscape match my, sensory visual experiential scape. And so there's a few things, obviously, like some old time country stuff works for that. And then, other kinds. I didn't like desert metal stuff. I'll listen to like, Caius, Queens of the Stone Age, stuff like that too. But the first Giant Sand album I got is the biggest one. And this is something that every time I go to Mojave, I will listen to and bring. It's called Shore of Enchantment. Now, Giant Sand, really quick biographical information, started in 1985, Tucson, Arizona. And the main guy is a dude named Hal Gelb. And I think in 85, they were called the Giant Sandworms. And if you read interviews with Hal, he talks about he talks about kind of emulating the Talking Heads. He what he sort of felt like what he was doing was kind of like Talking Heads ish. Although I have an early an early Giant Sand record here. I think it's this one. Yeah, a few of these first couple ones have the same cover, which is confusing. This is actually, as a trivia note, this is Ryan, my drummer. Ryan, the drummer for the Happy Casualties. This is his favorite Giant Sand album. Like every time we were hanging out, I put this on. He was blown away. It's like the second one. I think it's Ballad of a Thin Line Man. And to me, the vocals doesn't remind me of like it doesn't remind me of David Byrne. It reminds me of Tab Falco. So I think for the first few Giant Sand albums, I think Hal Gelb's vocals sound like Tab Falco. And I got into I actually got to see Tab Falco live once. I'll have to tell that story sometime. He was backed by Ken Stringfellow from the Posies. But I think that I think that the the Tab Falco thing is because Tab Falco has this kind of like he has like the pencil thin mustache, and he kind of has this like Zorro slash man of European intrigue vibe, and I think that's what kind of fits Hal Gelb's vibe the most. But I'm not going to make a long video because the last few videos have been too long. So this one, I'd say there's some like little avant-garde soundscapes. There's some really great songs on here. Punishing Sun, Extra Wide, Temptation of Egg is always makes it on so many playlists. Shiver, Satellite, Dirty from the Rain. It's the songwriting I think is great. I think there's, like I said, there's aspects of like Tab Falco, there's aspects of like country, there's aspects of Tom Waits, there's and then just Hal Gelb's thing, and Hal Gelb is like he's kind of a deconstructionist. He sort of like breaks down songs and rearranges them in like he's probably really influenced by like a lot of like Dada type theories. So on my first bout of being into Giant Sand, I got that at Rhino Records in Westwood. I got this Glum. This is, I think, the album right before. This is pretty good. And I got this is a side project that he did, the Band of Blackie Ranchette. And he's got a lot of his friends on here. He has Kurt Wagner from Lamb Chop. He has Richard Buckner. Yeah, this is great. And you could tell also Lee Hazelwood was like an influence on him too. So he's like an amalgamation of Tom Waits, Lee Hazelwood, country, really traditional country music like Buck Owens and Hank Williams, things like that. It's all kind of blended together. Taft Falco. But this was a side project. Then I think I ordered some CDs from Howe's label, and these are like basically he did little companion bootleg albums too. This is for Chore of Enchantment, and this is for Glum, and it's called Unsung Glum. This I think is better than Glum itself. This is really great. This one I'll take Chore of Enchantment over. Then I wasn't listening to so much Giant Sand. But then I every time I'd be at Amoeba, I saw they had used Giant Sands CDs, I'd pick them up. So I was doing that, and I got the Ballad of a Thin Line. Man, I don't listen to it that often, but it's not bad. I got Ramp. This one's really good. And I got this in Record Surplus in Santa Monica. Right? And then I was like, you know what? Oh, you know what? And I also had this one before too, which was the Covers album, which has a really great version of Out on the Weekend, the Neil Young song. Neil Young's an influence too here. I was just picking these CDs up used, just anywhere, anytime I came across them. Found this is one of the latest Hal Gelb albums. He's mainly playing at the piano, but pick this one up used at Amoeba. The Coincidentalist. That's probably representative of Howe's artistic ethos, having things be coincidental with each other in sort of surprising ways. Everything's falling off my keyboard. This I had to order some stuff I wanted to get. So I found a seller on eBay, and I got this Giant Sand Live. I got this Backyard Barbecue, which is really great. I used to have this album. This is Howe's solo album. It's called Hisser. And I did end up selling it at one point. I had an earlier issue that was really good. And then I was like, when I was buying the stuff back, I was buying more stuff back in the last year. I've been into this band for like 25 years. I rebought it again, and I was listening to it again, and I think it gets a little too abstract and weird in places for me. But I'm not going to sell it again because who knows. And then the album that came out after cover album, the Covers one, and I didn't get, maybe because I just didn't see it around or whatever, was this album called Provisions. And I think this is the album that well, getting the Coincidentalist made me say, well, what was the last Giant Sand album that came out that after Shore of Enchantment, outside of the covers one? It was this one. And I listened to it. I was like, whoa, man, this is really great. It's not Chore, but it is really good. So I have a lot of Giant Sand stuff now, and I haven't paid a lot for it because there's something fun about particular bands that you see used a lot. Royal Trucks. I think all my Royal Truck CDs they're used. There's something cool about knowing you can go to record stores and there's a band with a sizable discography that you're going to see their stuff used. And, you know, you can get it. But maybe I'll throw on some Giant Sand today while I'm doing some reading. But anyways, thanks to Joel for mentioning this band, and thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, listen to the Happy Casualties. I'll talk to you later.